opponent is Hong Kong. Very Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, very famous. And in Japan, karate, no problem. Ninja and karate together. Me ninja, my partner karate, no problem.
It's very excited for me because it's a very big stage. It's one of the world's biggest tournaments.
Representing Hong Kong is proud of my country and proud of myself.
And your commentary team for this one, Phil Yates and Carl Boyes.
Thanks, Rhiannon. Yes, every time Naoyuki Oi is at the table, you want to watch. He is a genuine character, full of fun. But Carl Boyes made the point, very succinctly I thought, right at the start of the programme, that you shouldn't underestimate him. He's not just a joker, he's a player.
Yeah, without doubt, he's had big finishes in some of the world's biggest pool tournaments. So don't underestimate his character and his partner, Toru Kuribayashi, another top player.
Rack 1, Hong Kong, China versus Japan. Gentlemen, you may choose your players for the lag. Good luck, gentlemen.
The voice there of our referee from New Jersey in the States, John
Gentlemen, you may
Lehman.
lag for break.
When it's winner's break, the lag is really, really important. Get a good start, you might be able to sprint away, but of course with alternate breaks, the importance of the lag is somewhat diluted.
So Japan win the lag in the first rack. Naoyuki always at it already. Look, just asking his partner Toru if it's okay if he breaks off in the first rack. That was a real nice hit, that. I know he's come up dry, but it was powerful and good cue ball control. And now we get to look at Team Hong Kong. The taller one of the two is Lo Ho Sum. And I know Kelly Fisher's here keeping a little eye on these two boys because she goes over to Hong Kong a fair bit, coaching the Hong Kong pool team, Phil.
Well, that's interesting because the son of the 1979 World Snooker champion, Terry Griffiths, he's the coach of the Hong Kong snooker guys, who are doing pretty well. And indeed, the snooker women as well. Nagu On-Yi is a multiple women's world champion. Got to be happy with that. Always a nerve settler.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if there's any particular favourite in this match. Same old cliche, it's just a case of trying to get off to the best start you can or staying in the match. So the missed kick shot from Toru gives Hong Kong ball in hand.
Start the clock, please.
And just a quick glance at the table, it doesn't look the worst, the layout. So first sort of 3 or 4 shots. I'll just open the rack up.
Yes, Lo Ho Sum's partner, who's just spotted that one, is Yip Kin Ling.
Just have a sneaky feeling that they're going to be a good team, this Hong Kong duo.
Perhaps it's best he took a pool rather than golf, because Yip wouldn't be a good name for a golfer.
Played quite a nice shot there to get on the 4 ball, spinning it round with loads of top right and spin. Main concern here is obviously that green 6, because natural path is taking it towards that, so he's going to have to put a bit of something on the cue ball. Looks a nice cueish though, very much Chinese Taipei-like. Well, there's the old commentator's curse, Phil.
Well, it happened to Jeremy yesterday. It will happen to me at some point over the weekend, and now it's happened to you, so. It's amazing. It's as though it's meant to be, this game. Even in the commentary box, embarrasses everyone involved.
Well, the funny thing with that shot is I'm not sure where he were taking his cue ball, because as you can see, he's nowhere near on the 5 ball, but...
Attention, please.
See Naoyuki always sporting a new haircut. It's a bit like yours, that one, Phil.
Yeah. This has been dyed. Mine's naturally grey. And getting greyer by the moment being with you.
Oh, cheers, pal. I'm just wondering if there's a possible pot your 5 ball and get that 9 ball towards that other pocket. And there is, and the 9 ball's disappeared. It's 1-0 Japan.
Toru, terrific. 5-9. Off they go, the Japanese. They've had some good runs in this tournament over the years. Yes, they're a fun duo, there's no doubt about that, and they bring a lot of excitement and a lot of smiles to the event. But they can play, we must reiterate that.
Yeah, maybe it's just their way of handling the nerves. Everybody deals with it different, and I think they try and play with a smile and have some fun out there. There's nothing wrong with that.
The Japanese best performance as we see that 5-9 carom. They've been to the semi-finals twice. In 2007, the second edition of this event, and then in 2015. So we've had 7 completed matches so far in this Bedvictor World Cup of Pool.
Rack number
The
2, current score
continental
is
composition,
1-0 in favor of Japan.
well, it's
Hong Kong,
geographically
China is
mixed
breaking.
thus far, with the Estonians coming through. We've got 3 European sides into the last 16, 2 Asians, 1 South American, 1 North American.
Would you look at the cue ball there, Phil? Look at it still spinning. This could take a couple of minutes to stop this. Look at that. He has got some spin on that, let me tell you. Could have been a time foul if the shot clock were on. So they've made a ball. Obviously they're on the yellow 1 ball. It's not an easy pot into the far left pocket. Looks like there's possible safety shot in. Can he get it behind the orange 5? You're just always a bit concerned where you're putting the object ball though. He's made a mess of that one, Phil.
Early signs to me suggest they've got talent, but they're raw.
Yeah, just looking at them there, you can see at least they're still smiling, so that's good. You don't want to get down on yourself out there. Shows they're in good spirits. Toru was trying to get that cue ball in behind the pink 4. Just pops its face out, but he's got a good 1 ball. So he's kicking at his 2 rails. Bad news for Hong Kong. The one ball's gone over the side pocket. Let's give Japan good chance here. You just know if Japan kind of get a bit of a big lead, Naoyuki will certainly start playing up for the fans.
At the moment, all business quite subdued.
Yeah, this was a key shot now, because obviously where the green 6 is, he needs an angle on this ball so he can get back over for it. Yeah, he was a little bit straight, so that's why he hit that shot fairly hard. That's not too bad though, he can just float this 6 ball in and come off a couple of rails. Just put your 6 ball. Good effort there from Naoyuki, the character. A little bit too much angle, but I think he can just kill that ball.
Extension, please.
It's a game of fine margin. His 9-ball pool, isn't it, Phil? If he lands straight on that, it's just a simple stop shot. Now he's got to come with a... I think he's going to play a powerful shot again here. Try and draw that off the side rail. That's a pretty good effort, to be fair. That's not bad.
The best approach, the most efficient approach, is to retain as much simplicity as possible. Deading the cue ball there, Naoyuki. Can't imagine this one's going to be missed. As for the men from the land of the rising sun, well, their stock is rising. 2-0 ahead, looking good. What you must remember about the Japanese, they've got a really powerful pool heritage. They've actually provided 3 world 9-ball champions over the years. Takeshi Okamura in 1994, Kuniko Takahashi 1998, and Yukio Akagariyama in 2011.
Well, I never knew they produced 3. I learn a lot sat in this box with you, pal. 36, Naoyuki. You think you're that old?
Well, he doesn't behave in that way, does he? More like 6. I'll tell you what, though, he's infectiously funny to be around and just a genuinely light spirit.
Rack number 3, current score is 2-0 in favor of Japan.
So.
Japan is breaking.
Yeah, he's the straight man, isn't he? He's the one who just laughs at Naoyuki, always jokes and just keeps knocking in balls.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I have noticed. The first 2 racks, there's been no fun and games, has there? It's been all business, but, you know, the more racks they knock on that scoreboard, I'm sure Naoyuki will start to relax even more. Nice break shot there. I've noticed the break today's been a lot more successful. The players finding the feet with it.
Last year in Shanghai, the Japanese were immediately shown the door, beaten 7-5 by Sweden in the first round. They do not want a repeat of that.
Yeah, Naoyuki's just looking at that red 3 ball, because after potting this blue 2, the 3 doesn't go, so he might try a little cannon here. Yeah, that's a good effort. I know it's gone on the rail, but it does pass the 8 now. So it was a good shot. And he's got a nice angle to come over for it, so nicely played. I was mistaken there. I thought the 2 ball were on the table. So he had to knock the 3 out. And that is a lovely safety shot there.
Yes, you might say lots of balls to hide behind, and consequently, he should have got the snooker, but the way he's got it, that's maximum strife.
Yeah, speed was everything there, as you... Like you said, there was a lot of balls, but just to get him buried right behind that 9 ball. I could do with borrowing your glasses, Phil, because I thought the 2 ball was still on the table. So the main aim here is just trying to hit your 3 ball, which he hasn't done. So it's going from bad to worse for Team Hong Kong.
No contact. Hold the clock, please. Start the clock, please.
And there's no obvious obstacle to 3-0 here. It should be routine.
Phil, do you know what Japan's best result is at the World Cup of Pool?
Well, you said you needed glasses. I think you need a hearing aid as well, because I've already said that twice. Yeah, semi-finals twice.
Right, and was it the same pairing? I'm putting you on the spot here, aren't I?
That's revenge, isn't it? That's revenge.
Has he come back far enough?
Actually, just thinking about it, it wasn't the same pairing, because on one of the semi-final occasions the Japanese were involved in the last 4. Oi's partner was Satoshi Kawabata.
Tricky little blind pocket shot here for Naoyuki. Cue ball's close to the 7, so that always makes it a little bit harder. Judged it well though. Strong start for Japan is this.
I'm afraid the youthful Hong Kong duo are making mistakes. Japan are making hay. 3 racks played, 3 racks won by the Japanese. It's going one way at the moment, and Hong Kong in early trouble. It's not exactly a short
Rack
commute
number 4.
from Tokyo
Turn
to
scores
Leicester,
3-0
but
in favor
Naoyuki
of
Oi
Japan.
and Toru
Hong Kong,
Kuribayashi
China is
are
breaking.
making it worthwhile so far. They lead 3-0 against the Hong Kong pairing, who as yet have looked reasonable cueists, but short on experience. The 1 was hanging and then just pushed away at the last moment by the 5. although a bank is there.
Yeah, as you said, Phil, just a nice one-rail bank into that side pocket.
The only trouble with this, of course, is how do you obtain a position on the 2, which is some distance away and not at a favourable angle. Hence, they decided to go for caution.
So he's going airborne. You got the 9 ball moving as well, but there were kind of no real obvious safety outcome there. Not his best effort, that should have been right up behind that 9 ball. Pretty good effort there from Hong Kong. I think he's just left the gap though. On these super fast tables, it is very hard to judge the pace, and kind of dangerous sending the 1 ball in the middle of the table. He was under a lot of pressure then to get a good cue ball. This is not easy though. Striking down. It has to be said, it weren't very close.
But second prize, the hook behind the 7. Completely unintentional, of course.
So he's gone for the jump cue, and it's not a bad leave that, to be fair, so he'll be happy with that. Obviously he's not snookered Hong Kong, but got a good 1 ball. Possible bank, full length bank into that pocket where the 8 is. Or he can spin the cue ball round and try and get it in behind the 9. That was all about getting the right line. So no one's played a telling safety shot yet. He's got a chance of making this 1 ball off 1 rail. So he's trying to pot this ball. Is it a bit full? But it looks like he's had second best prize, Phil. Hong Kong just can't get a go at the pot, can they, at the minute? Just when they need it.
Well, as you can clearly see there, the potting angle is not available this time.
It's always a little nasty shot that way. You've got to kind of stop the cue ball dead from full length of the table. You've got to time it so well.
And when the cue ball came out from behind the ping four, Oi jogged around the table. Jogged for joy because now it's a wide open table.
Yeah, and I tell you what, you wouldn't put that better with your hand. Jacked up off the back rail, full length. And he's landed perfect on this 2-ball. And this has got signs of could be a quick rack. Because can he get him over enough so he can get on that 4-9 combo? Maybe there's too much angle there.
Extension, please.
I just laugh at Naoyuki when I see him. Wonder what he's saying to him, Phil.
I'm still in the process of learning English, let alone Japanese.
Oh, I thought you were fluent in Japanese.
No, sorry.
So as you can see, he's pulled the cue ball out into the middle of the table to leave Toru the carom, so he's going to be using the cue ball to try and pop the 9. Also, he'll try and get a good 4-ball as an insurance policy. And he's not got a good 4-ball, so at last we get to see Hong Kong with a chance at a pot.
Yes, and if this one goes in, there's no reason why they can't break their duck and finally get a ruck on the board.
Do you know, Phil, I think Ling from Hong Kong, so the other player, not Yolu, who's at the table now, I'm sure at the US Open, he very nearly beat Denis Orcolo. It was a close match, and I was speaking to a few people who have seen him play in America, and they was rating him very highly. I thought I knew his face from somewhere, and I'm certain that's him. I think he's tipped for big things.
These are the kind of 9 balls you want. Over the pocket, in it goes. So Hong Kong a little ragged in the first 3 racks. In that one though, after the carom was misjudged in fact by Japan, Hong Kong did the rest. The scoreline 3-1. I'm not saying the carom was a gimme. Of course it wasn't. But I really fancied the Japanese to knock it in. Hong Kong relieved they didn't. They've certainly got a sunny disposition, haven't they? Ho-Sum Low is 21 years of age, outside the top 100 in the world rankings, but that might change with time. And his partner, as Carlos told us, is a real prospect. Just 19 years of age, making his World Cup of Pool debut. He's even lower in the rankings, but poised to make a serious climb up.
Rack number 5, current score is 3-1 in favor of Japan. Japan is breaking.
Yeah, and it's still early stages in this match, so just dig in and try and take your chances as we see Naoyuki break. And it's a dry break. But it's not an easy opener. No pot on the 1 ball. playing the combination to pot the 2 is not easy either, because there's plenty of distance in between. Of course, they can play a push out.
Extension, please.
I'm not saying they're going to do that, but you do have the option. So he's tried to play it safe, and I think he's left a gap here. As you can see at the bottom of the table, the green 6 and the 8 ball are tied up. Don't think that's a plant. Is there a gap there to get through to pop this one? There is. Yeah, so the green 6 and the 8 ball, if that's not a plant, it is going to cause problems. Yeah, just had a sneaky feeling. Where's the 9 going? Oh. It was a dangerous shot. I could see what he was trying to do, but he needed a little bit of luck there. He had to hit him a bit thinner, didn't he, to get the cue ball back up. He hit the 9 too full. And he nearly made the 9.
Extension, please.
Well, is he trying to fire that orange 5 off the jaw over towards the 9? He's tried to use the cue ball. I'll tell you what, that was good vision. That it weren't a million miles off, but you would think it's going to cost him the rack now.
Yes, this 5-9 combination. Nailed on, you would assume.
That was very adventurous, that one.
So the gap closes again. Hong Kong now just one adrift at 3-0. You were fearing the worst for the youngsters. At 3-2, renewed hope. I think that's the nature of the tournament, isn't it, Carl? You know, we saw a few runaways yesterday, but in general I think we're going to see a whole lot more competitive matches that go close.
Yeah, I fully agree, Phil. It's the nature of a Scotch doubles event. But I think Naoyuki bit off a bit more he can chew there. That was not an easy shot. It was a big gamble. It's cost them the rack. So Hong Kong are nicely back in this match.
And no matter where it is, what the tournament is, what CueSports you're playing, it never pays to take liberties. You can't say, okay, we can lose this rack and we'll be okay anyway. You never know what's around the corner.
Rack number 6, current scores 3-2. favor of Japan, Hong Kong, China is breaking.
Sporting a nice tattoo on his wrist there. Oh, he's lost the cue ball. He gets a lot of spin. Look at the cue ball again, spinning. Yeah, he generates a lot of spin on the break. And he has got a shot at this one ball into the left side or the top pocket, so kind of depends how he sees it down there. Well, he's looking up at the top, so you feel like this is the key shot as well, don't you? Because the balls are sat okay. There's always one or two shots in a rack in 9-ball where you feel like they're the key shots. Yeah, he's nice cueist, this young kid from Hong Kong. You can just see it. Nice touch, confident. It's been a good effort to get back in this match because Japan got off to a nice start and looked very solid.
At the end of the contest, are we going to look back at that misjudged 4-9 carom from Kuribayashi in the 4th rack as the turning point? Well, it looks as though the Japanese lead is about to evaporate.
Yeah, it was a little turning point, that, you're right. He played a bad 4-ball and that sort of give them, you know, the opportunity for the rack. They're playing at a nice pace and all, not hanging around, and you need to try and get in that good rhythm. Cue's very much like Kolpin Yi. Does low host some. Nice little shot there, using the spin just to pull the cue ball down closer to this 9 for his partner.
There's an all-Asian battle going on in the first round of the Bet Victor World Cup of Pool. Hong Kong against Japan. Japan were off to a flyer. Now, though, it's parity. 3 racks apiece. Let youth be served. That's been the mantra ever since Toru Kuribayashi couldn't quite pull off that carom. The 21-year-old and the 19-year-old from Hong Kong in the last 3 racks have looked pretty sparkling. Hence, it's all level, 3-3.
Yes, as we see Japan break, Hong Kong have done exactly all they could do. Just switch that pressure back over and show the Japanese duo that they're here to play and that they can play. Just like Estonia in the last match, they showed the Germans that they're not scared. And they applied a bit of pressure. Nice break there though, and it's a good chance.
This match slots into the bottom half of the draw, and the winners will play either Austria or Croatia.
Yeah, he's got a tough little positional shot here. been in this round. It's all about pace. Is it going to sneak behind the 7? No, it's not. It's not too bad, that. Tricky shot this though, near the cushion. And there you see, he's missed it by a long way. So the pressure from Team Hong Kong.
Yeah, it's starting to show. There's no doubt about it. Having said that, though, what a role for the Japanese. When you miss a 3-ball like that, you expect trouble. You expect consequences. In fact, it's a fluke snooker.
Extension, please.
Yeah, it's horrible that when that happens, your opponent misses the ball by a long way and you come to the table and you're full ball hooked. But I suppose at least he's back to the table. So he's playing a jump bank, I believe. Not easy to keep balls on the table. What a shot from the young magician. Would you just look at that? He lands the cue ball on the 3 and banks it across side. Wonderful. Just asking for the cue ball to be cleaned from our referee, John Lehman.
A jump, hook escape double to start things off. Yip is playing with zip. Hong Kong have real zest.
Yeah, you can just see he's a confident young chap. Strikes the cue ball nice, doesn't seem to quit on any of the shots. And it's 4-3 Japan.
Yes, and 4 racks on the trot for Hong Kong. You know, the seeded, established players in this tournament, some of them are doing well, but others are being rocked. Great Britain B out last night against Chile. More recently this afternoon, Estonia beating Germany. Could Japan be another team that have done well in the World Cup in the past and go home? Hong Kong fancying the job increasingly. And it's good to see. Great to see youngsters come through, and nice to see new nations come through also. The great CueSports king, of course, in Hong Kong is Marco Fu, great snooker player who's also a fine gentleman, a great ambassador for that part of the world. I think if they could produce a really world-class pool player, it would be wonderful for the game in general.
Rack number 8.
Yeah,
Score is 4-3 in favor of Hong Kong.
Be surprised
China.
if
And Hong Kong China
one of these
is
two
breaking.
breaks through. Just to be careful with his logo, though. That looks like it's going to fall off. No, it's just fell off. There you go.
Logo, no go.
Well, at least it fell off there and not mid-shot. Because it would be a foul if it hit a ball. So he's made the 1 ball in the side. That's intended. But there's no shot on the 2. Certainly no point.
Going back to the logos, it's amazing actually how much hassle they create, the ones where you stick them on, happens all the time where they come loose or they impede a player's queuing.
Yeah, he's misjudged that, but I suppose at least he's not left the pot, but his finest effort. Team Japan now know that they're in a match. I'm sure at 3-0 up, they may have thought it could be a little bit of a one-sided match, but Hong Kong have turned it around. And I think he's just got there. Good shot, yep. Nice shot there from Toru.
Extension, please.
That's kind of what he's looked at. Come off 2 rails and try and hit this blue 2-ball full. But he doesn't want to hit the brown 7 on the way up. Where's the cue ball? Oh, I thought that were going to fall, Phil. I'm amazed that stayed up.
He's seeing the funny side. Deep into the pocket, right behind the jaw, right behind a couple of balls as well. The 4 and the 6. What a snooker this is.
Yeah, just try and hit your 2-ball here, because at least you've got some insurance. And he's away off there. Because I don't think this 4-ball will pop.
Please. Start the clock, please.
I mean, even if it does, the 5-ball is all the way up the other side of the table, so it's not easy to get back on. Dennis Grabe in the last match played a similar shot on where the 4-ball and the 6 is at Hill. Played that wonderful to hook Germany in that last rack. I thought it was a fantastic match, that one, Phil. I really did.
Yeah, you call him Grabe, so does Jeremy Jones. I'm confidently informed, by the way, it's Grabber.
I actually call him Grabo when I see him.
Right, okay.
That's his nickname, Grabo.
I think we can agree that he was Dennis the Menace in terms of Germany.
Now, I'm not sure if he played to flick the balls out, or did he just try and get the cue ball into this kind of position for the snooker, but you've got to make sure that 4-ball doesn't contact the 9. And it did contact the 9, that's why it didn't go up table.
I think this is what we were saying earlier. Clearly the talent is there for Hong Kong, but they do have some rough edges still. And I suppose at their age that's not inevitable but understandable.
Yeah, unless you're Joshua Filler, he's still a young man. So he didn't play the pot there. If anyone thinks he did, he was trying to play a good safe. Now they can pot this 4-ball, he's just having a look down the line of the pot. But as you can see, it's the orange 5 next. Is he going to try and pot this and draw into the 5? He is. I'll tell you what, he's got the shots, this kid. He really has. That was not easy, and he's been a bit unfortunate. He played it well. Yeah, Phil, we talk about Joshua Filler and Clint Catchy, young players, Fedor Gorse, but these guys kind of go unnoticed a little bit, don't they?
Well, with that collection of names you've mentioned, the sport's in fantastic hands.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad I'm sat next to you now, Phil. I won't lie.
Extension, please.
And of course, it's a sport where you can play at the very highest level for many a year. Efren Reyes was winning tournaments into his late 50s, maybe even early 60s.
Yeah, Earl Strickland's in his 50s. He still plays good 9-ball. So Naoyuki is trying to jump pot this ball. And he wasn't far off. But it must be said, he's had a useful nudge there. He could have easily stuck that 5-ball up for Hong Kong. Well, we do know he doesn't like to hang back on his shots, so is he going to attack, or is he just going to try and bump this 5-ball into the middle of the rail and get a good cue ball? Seems like it's the sensible shot, but as we've said, this is where they look a bit raw, don't they, Phil?
Well, when the skill is there, and it clearly is, you can mould it. For them, experience is valuable, and this experience is priceless.
Yeah, nice pot there, and it's a very, very useful nudge. But the main thing is make sure you put your 5-ball, and that he did. So the poor safety from Hong Kong has given Japan this chance to tie the match up. You can see how fast that table is. I never thought it was going to go there, you know, Phil. I mean, he should still pot this, don't get me wrong, but you know, he'd love to have been a little bit further to the right.
You're right, the surface is slick. Tomas is here this week, the table fitter who does such a fine job on the snooker circuit throughout the year. And he's produced a beautiful playing surface.
Well, he really took his time on that 9-ball.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All tied up again, Cole, 4-4. It's been really, really tight pool all afternoon. We've already had one hill decider. If you're just joining us, Germany, the powerhouse of Suke and Filler, beaten by Estonia. Here, all kinds of stuff happening as Hong Kong and Japan have shared the first 8 racks. Bear in mind, Japan were 3-0 ahead, now relieved to be back on level terms. That was a safety shot that left much to be desired. Good 8-ball with awkward cueing, and the 9 into the heart of the pocket. Have you played Naoyuki Oi much over the years, Carl?
Played him in the quarter-finals of the World 9-ball Championships many years ago. And he beat me.
Rack
I think it
number
was
9.
11-8.
We are currently
But
all
I
tied
kinda
up
threw
at
that match away,
4-4, and
I'm afraid,
Japan
Phil.
is breaking.
I don't think I've played him since, I'm not sure. Knowing me, I've probably played him at World Cup of Pool, Phil, and I can't remember.
So that's dry, even though the pink 4-ball came within a millimetre of dropping.
Yeah, and I think that pink 4 is in one of them funny positions where you think it's over the pocket, but it's touching that jaw.
And we just saw there, flashed up a moment ago, dry breaks, 3 already for Japan. You have to toil if you keep breaking dry.
Yeah, this was real thin. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one. But I think he's been a bit fortunate. Again, it seems to be the story of the match so far. When a player misses the pot, they seem to be getting a bit of run, don't they?
And that's one of the contributory reasons why I think most of the racks have been a little scrappy.
Well, he has got a good chance of a safety. Watch that 8-ball up top end of the table. That's his kind of intended line of path. And there you go. Expertly done from Toru. He's playing some nice shots. And we're still waiting for Naoyuki to go a bit mental out there, but that's just because the position in this match, he knows he can't afford to
Extension, please.
take his concentration off.
Now, what does the youngest of the 4 players on display have in his locker? We've already seen one tremendous jump shot from Yip. That not so good.
Yeah, I mean, it was very thin to try and pop that ball. He did send it towards the pocket, so it weren't a million miles away, but very adventurous. I love it when they both like miss a shot or play a bad shot. They go and sit back down, look at each other and just start laughing. That might not have worked out too bad, you know, because when he knocked the 5-ball out, come up and obviously knocked that 4-ball out of that bad position. So this is kind of key shot now, because he's going to be really striking down. Of course, you can't hit the 6-ball. Doesn't want to be straight. Could have done with a bit more angle there. Because after he pots this, he's got to try and get nicely on the 4-ball to get all the way back down table for the green 6. Oh, I'll tell you what, he's made some angle there, hasn't he, Phil? I didn't think he'd get there. Wow.
He absolutely pinged that. One of the shots for me of the day.
Yeah, I'd like to have another look at that one. Might have been one of them where he just caught rail first and then hit the ball. You know, change the angle a little bit.
Not so good. Not so good. Always too narrow.
Yeah, just watch this cue ball. Yeah, he just caught rail first. That's why he got right over. Good shot. But the problem is, he needs another good one now.
Extension, please.
Obviously, the 9-ball's not in a bad position to try and draw the cue ball across table, and he's made a complete mess of that. He was trying to draw the cue ball all the way over and duck in behind the 9-ball. Did he double kiss it?
I'm convinced he did. Convinced. What an opportunity now for the free queuing Hong Kong duo to take the lead for the second time.
Yeah, let me tell you, this shot on the TV camera looks... It doesn't look as thin as it is when you're out there. That's why he keeps having a look, because it's always a lot thinner when you're at the table than what the camera looks. positive stroke though. Doesn't hold back on his shots, does the youngster.
Yip and low, moving ever closer to being on a high. And the reason for that, Hong Kong, who were 3-0 down at their lowest ebb, now lead Japan by 5 racks to 4. 2 more needed to go through to the last 16. The story continues after the break. On day 2
Rack
of the
number
Bet
10.
Victor World
Current
Cup
score is
off
5-4
pool,
Hong Kong, China.
nail biting all the
Hong Kong,
way.
China is breaking.
One match that's gone the distance so far. This has all the hallmarks of doing exactly the same. Hong Kong 5-4 up. The youngsters prospering. Well, there can be no complaints about that. 1 in, 3 in. Position on the 2. No really awkward clusters. Yes, congestion down one end of the table, but Hong Kong would gladly take that break before it happened. And they've had 4 successful breaks against Japan's 2, and that's telling.
Yeah, and it's at that time again, isn't it? 5-4. You need to play no mistake pool now. And the pressure's really getting cranked up now. This is key shot. Well judged. I'm convinced he's modelled his cue action on Ko Pin-Yi, Phil. Very much the same.
Well, if you're going to copy anyone, that's a good piece of advice, because Ko Pin-Yi is one beautiful player.
Yeah, I think the way I've been playing, I've modelled myself on you, Phil.
We've been going backwards and forwards all afternoon, me and you. People at home must be thinking we don't like each other.
I'm joking. I know you like a little joke.
Extension, please.
So just composing himself because it's a little thin one. Pace is everything, just making sure he gets the right line. It's a good effort.
Well, I think Yip's play so far has been as sharp as his haircut. Doesn't want this match to be a close shave, though. And if Hong Kong can get to 6-4, Japan will have it all to do.
Yeah, again, just a little bit shy of pace, but simple kind of spin your cue ball around the table off 3, back into the middle. It's been a fantastic effort, this, I must say. Don't forget they were 3-0 down. So they're effectively winning 6-1 in the last 7 racks.
It's really great to see. I, for one, didn't believe they could possibly win at 3-0 because they were making sloppy mistakes. They were making rookie mistakes, in fairness. In all departments, Japan looked totally in command. And then came what could be the transformational moment. Toru Kuribayashi misjudged a 4-9 carom, and since then, Hong Kong have been the better of the 2 teams.
Yeah, I agree, they've played really good. They look a good partnership. always smiling, enjoying the arena, and one table set up.
And clearly benefiting from, as you said, Carl, before, the coaching advice of Kelly Fisher, who over the years has become one of the leading female pool players after winning women's World Snooker titles as well. Kelly from good Yorkshire stock, but she's based herself all over the world.
Rack number 11. The current score is 6-4 in favor of Hong Kong, China, and Japan is breaking.
So, like the first match today, the favourites trailing 6-4. That was a good solid break, but it's a dry one again. Seems to be the formula of what's going on with the Japanese break.
Well, just to put a number on it, that's the 4th dry break they've had. Not quite as futile as the Czech Republic, who had 6 dry breaks, but nevertheless, that's tough to overcome. And now, Carl, speaking from experience, you can tell us these Hong Kong Hearts will be beating. 1 rack away from victory, and the ball's nicely spread.
Yeah, the thing with pool is, what many people probably don't realise is sometimes you don't get a chance or an opportunity, and when you do, you might only get one, so you've got to take them.
Extension, please.
So even though this is not an easy shot, you know, it's 6-4, and it is a chance. This is one of them type of shots where you just pot your ball because you know the cue ball's coming round off 2 rails, and as long as you don't go near the 8 ball, we spun it off 3, and yeah, I'm not so sure about that one. Thought he could have played it off 2, and he's been very, very fortunate. As you can see, they keep laughing, don't they, Phil?
Yes, we described beforehand Naoyuki Oi as the joker, but I think the joke's on him at the moment.
Yeah, that's pretty good effort. Key shot coming up now. If he gets on this 4 ball, you feel like the rack is over and the match, and Japan need to pray. This is key shot. Where's the cue ball? It's near the side. I tell you what, Phil, we've seen that so many times in the last day and a half. They just don't seem to fall in them side pockets, do they?
Well, if a pocket on a pool table is cut brutally, it's these two middles here. Nothing to aim for.
Yeah,
Actually, that bump off both jaws has done him a favour. Oh, a little speedy. Betwixt and between, as Ted Lowe used to say. Betwixt and between.
I wonder if our American viewers are familiar with Ted Lowe.
Probably not, but they should be.
I thought you were going to come out with a famous Phil Yates story then. Well, they've took them okay. They've been a little bit fortunate on one of the positional shots, but that was a nice shot because he weren't perfect on that. It was a thin one. But let me tell you, they're perfect now. It's hard to see how they're not going to pot these 3 balls.
Austria or Croatia, remember, in the last 16 will provide the next opposition for what looks like being these 2 youngsters. They play a vibrant game, and good luck to them. And I think it's entirely appropriate that Yip is going to pot the ball to get over the line. How about that? They've beaten the men from the land of the rising sun. Have we seen the dawn of two new stars? HK, A-OK.